It's Dermot Wilson, and I'm the director-curator of the WKP Kennedy Gallery. This is the third incarnation of the Ice Follies, which is Canada's only truly northern biennial of contemporary art. So what you can see around me is all of the installations by artists from across the country, and now we've expanded to the States as well, to America.
Rewind and fast forward, we're looking at our past and in a quick flash fast forward almost to perhaps the future, perhaps the present. We don't really know, but it is, let's take a look at ourselves, of what we've done. Is this progress? I'm Christine Charette, and I'm a mixed media artist, and I'm out here on Lake Nipissing enjoying the sun. It's a prism-like six-sided hexagon structure, as if it's burst through the ice, and within it are contents from a perhaps past. Again, hence the rewind, fast forward. It's just kind of an observation, kind of time capsule pod, frozen in time, with objects that are frozen into the window panes. The objects are questions basically that we can ask of our time, and there are clocks, gears, wheels, balls, so think keys. Those are all kind of symbols that we could put into sentences that kind of define humanity, putting the wheel in motion and the key to what's going on, or get the ball rolling, or because we obviously are in a time that's questionable environmentally, and ice and icebergs and all that are part of it, so it kind of worked in with the whole idea, if we did freeze, or these objects being frozen, but there's going to be a person involved in it as well, a body, so it's all questionable. Do we need to keep making things better and better? Are we ever going to say, this is pretty good, this is the way it is? Is this really something that's brought us ahead? Basically, again though, I think there's not just one question, there's a many, and that's what I'd like people to just have their own questions.
This is our first project, actually. We're excited to be here at Lake Nipissing.
HOMES, by the way, stands for Huron, Ontario, Michigan, Erie, Superior. So in fact, if Nipissing is granted Great Lakes status, we're going to have to change our name maybe? Or what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Yes, we'll have to figure out, we have to
Homins?
add an N.
It could be in gnomes without the G,
Or it could
maybe.
be a
I'm not
silent
sure.
N.
Something, yeah.
Silent
gnomes,
N.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
Whoops.
We're a research organization as well, so we're collecting a lot of data.
Okay.
Some scientific,
Some a little more social or human in terms of folklore, fishing stories, perceptions of the lake, and we have a large filing cabinet in there too, where we're hoping to organize all of our data, and we're hoping people will interact and contribute as well.
We're hoping to stir some public interest in creating this as the sixth Great Lake, and I don't know, it might be a bit controversial. The Canadians, we don't have one to ourselves. The Americans do, they have Michigan. We'd like to counter that by having Nipissing as the sixth Great Lake.
This is supposed to be our inflatable iceberg. In case of thaw, global warming.
We do have a Department of Conceptual Art.
Right.
Just in case.
Right.
I believe we're covered.
Yeah. I drove up here imagining the kind of iceberg going through the lock system where we're from, the Welland Canal, thinking it would look quite nice as well. So this is the model unit, right? This
Absolutely.
is our first
This
attempt.
is the prototype.
Exactly. First one. So we'll see how this goes. Hopefully take it on a journey.
Well, I was born in North Bay and grew up here. Lived on Premier Road, just right across from Lake Nipissing. So, you know, I have that in my history. I used to come out and shovel off a place to skate, and so I remember just a really nice relationship with this lake, and always thinking that it was gorgeous. And I think the guys that are here that wanted to make it one of the Great Lakes have the right idea. We've built the cube structure that goes around the ice fishing hut, and that cube will be covered with a surface of pattern, and that'll be on all four sides and the top. So what we'll end up with is an ice fishing hut that's caught inside this net of pattern. I thought about putting something inside the hut and displaying it that way, and then I thought, oh, it might be more interesting if the hut itself is caught in a structure and contained. So, you know, you think of ice fishing and catching fish. Here I'm going to catch the hut itself. So next we're going to put the roof on, the top of the cube. We're going to apply the pattern to that, which we're just doing on the ground here. And that'll go up, and then we'll apply the pattern to all the four sides. The fabric is like Fabrine that I think is fabricated here in North Bay. It's that sort of tarp material with its plastic with a thread that runs through for strength.
Oh, okay.
And the pattern originates in a residency that I did in France, actually. It's a Baroque tile pattern that I've enlarged and simplified. And so it repeats on a grid, so it fits onto this structure. Part of the idea is to contrast, if you look at the history of modern sculpture, you see a lot of very pure white cubes, especially in the work of an artist like Sol LeWitt, for example. So I'm playing with that history too. You know, there's the snow that's white, there's the history of the cube in sculpture, but never with ornament on it.
My name's Donald Lawrence. I'm from Kamloops, British Columbia.
I love this.
One Eye Folly.
One Eye Folly.
Although it actually has two eyes, but you'd only use one at a time. It'd be a folly to use more than one eye. So it'll have on the front end here, the bow, it'll have this tin hood. The whole thing will be sheets in tin, and then I'll have this tin hood kind of as a combination light shade and snow shade.
Okay.
And then underneath the hood will be an aperture of sorts made out of some various kind of plumbing fittings and other things like that. So it'll let light go into the front of the boat here, and then that'll project an image of whatever the boat's looking at inside it and onto the door that'll be at the back at the stern of the boat. So as you sit inside it, you'll be able to view this image of the surrounding landscape or the other ice follies or people walking by, something like that. And ideally, I'm not sure if this will work or not, but ideally there should also be a way of being able to view what's under the ice with another kind of a viewing cube with a couple of mirrors and kind of like an upside down periscope to put under the ice and project an image again onto the back door.
Okay.
So someone inside the boat can choose to either have the front viewing hole open or the bottom one, or if they want, they can just open the windows on the side and just have a bit more light in overall. Let's see, I guess the idea comes from a few different sources. One, I'm always interested in boats and things nautical, so that's a natural for me. The idea of the camera obscura relates to a lot of my work. A camera obscura is an old form. It goes back reasonably to the 16th, 17th century, and there are earlier precedents for it. But as a kind of a prototype for cameras.
I'm freezing perfectly good microphones and pressure transducers into the ice of Lake Nipissing. I'm going to produce a piece that's hopefully an alarming piece that makes you feel worried about being wherever you are when you hear it, and worried about what's underfoot and precisely what the sounds in the ice mean. What I want to do is leave one set of speakers in the mobile media lab, in the trailer with the hard disk system. They'll be reproducing what's going on the ice in real time, but there'll also be a stereo pair of speakers in the gazebo playing back a piece that's produced specifically for the show and for the opening tomorrow. Right now I'm recording it as it freezes, in addition to the so I'll just have that as a reference signal in addition to the noises coming through the water right now. This is a 1-inch hole, just augured with a wood boring bit into the surface of the lake, and then the microphone element is about 1.5 inches underneath the surface here, and as with the piezo element, I've poured water into the hole to produce to couple the microphone element with the surrounding ice. I'm only hearing in the particular piece of ice that I've sampled with these microphones, in that the whole lake's made up of many pieces of fractured ice that are welded back together with water ice at the fissures, and then whatever happens on these particular pieces of ice comes across clearly in the microphones.
I work with ice, and I don't use ice that's already made or dug out of the lake. I actually cast the ice, so I make a form and I pour water into it, and that's how the ice is made. So in this instance, we're going to get the ice from the lake. We're going to bring the forms out onto the lake and then fill them with water. And my project is doing the word resource. And I'm creating these large letters. They'll be 7 feet high, so you'll be able to see them from a distance, probably from the road. The word itself actually stands for resources, as in natural resources, but also as in resources, and the way that we exploit resources. And it being on the lake is sort of speaks to the idea of the water, and the water being a natural resource, and one that we've taken for granted for a very long time. The idea with my work is that it's outside, it's made of ice, and it melts. So the melting process is a big part of the installation. And in this instance, the word resource is going to melt and go back into the lake. So it'll speak to the idea of the resources dwindling. So I just want people to maybe question, oh, well, what does resource mean? And by having this word there in the middle of nowhere, they probably will question, well, what does that mean? And then they have to come up with their own answer.
The concept?
Yeah.
It's about good luck and bad luck in relation to fishing. And so we're kind of just playing upon kind of natural events that might sort of strike luck with fishing, and some disastrous events that might deter fishing. Well, the lucky elements.
Do we have any?
We're gonna have a talking fish that's gonna be in the floor here.
Tells fortunes.
And it tells fortunes. We have it rigged up to sound, so when you come in, the fish will flop on the floor and tell you a fortune about your fishing day.
I think the idea of the fish too is sort of this myth of a fish that people come in before they go fishing. You know, they come to the shack and they sort of, talk to the fish or see what it has to say. And I think in the past it's been more revered, and now it's more sort of kitschy and people don't really believe in it, but some still do. So there's going to be a tree that a beaver has chomped down that's fallen through the ice hut and come out the other side of the roof. So that's sort of a bad luck thing, but then sort of idea of it being kind of good luck to have it actually fall on your hut is kind of a cool idea.
Great is gonna happen.
So
And that too.
There's going to be a burnt corner over here where the stove ignited. What else was bad luck?
Well, we have good luck too. We have.
Oh yeah, there's lots
Your
of symbols
shamrocks.
up in the shamrocks in the cathedral ceiling.
Oh, yeah.
We have good luck fish, goldfish all over the place.
Yeah.
In various states of decay. The shack's supposed to look like it's existed for many years, and it's been built up and fallen down and repaired over time to kind of keep it going. It's kind of a shrine in a way. We have lots of flowers.
Just having fun distressing it, trying to make it look old and adding bits and whatnot, and that's sort of taken on its own life, and it's been sort of an interesting dialogue between the three of us, and some works, some doesn't, so it's been a learning experience.
Yeah,
for sure.